Balkan schools were different. I wonder from what they're different.
School.
Yeah, looks like an average school.
It is the most influential time in a young child's development.
Pretty well, Patrania.
From learning valuable knowledge about the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the
Damn,
cell,
this is an
that they
elegant
will never
new
again
school.
call upon in their
They had
adult days
PCs
of
and
working
laptops.
9 to 5 in an office, to learning valuable social skills of not coming dressed to school in your Naruto headband, which can be applied at the office. School is an indispensable period of growth in every person's life, but at the end of the day, this is the Balkans. When it comes to the Balkans, and them essentially being the black hole of Europe, sucking in all prospects of development, stability, financial independence, and Canadian expats, it is no surprise that one of the most essential experiences of day-to-day life differs from that of the US and other Western nations. Now, at first glance, one of the major notable differences might be going to a dilapidated shack for 6 hours a day to get your education.
Come on, the school isn't even bad. What do you mean? It's pretty average school.
Having your classes last only 45 minutes each.
Wait, they're supposed to last longer than that? Eh? How long do classes
Or not
last
having
in
a madman play
other
Call of Duty in the
places?
hallways every other month. Yet, one of the most defining
Okay, that part I don't think is true. At least not when I went to school. But, yeah, the Balkan's pretty big.
characteristics of a school in the Balkans is its environment and just the absolute chaotic energy resonating from it. More often than not, classes would take place in a dilapidated Soviet-style building constructed sometimes in the 60s or 70s that essentially resembled more a beginner house in Minecraft than an educational institution.
What do you mean, man? It's just a building. So what did it look like a prison? So what our teachers decided to jail us in and put bars on the windows?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's just a building. I'm sure about that.
The walls were usually painted in some combination of Disney's go-away green, white, or blue, with the desks being made mostly out of a combination of cheap wood and sawdust and held together by discounted metal frames, the paint on which has been slowly peeling off and rust took well over.
Why is this so true? Why is this so true? We got new desks, so like ours weren't that bad. But generally, like when you went to school, you'd have like when I went to competitions to other schools, basically for exams and contests. Jesus Christ, some of these desks were half dismantling and unstable and needed extra help to stay up.
Within the classrooms, the schools used the same ceramic heater a grandma in Chelyabinsk 50 years ago did, because all the funding for schools went to the mayor's BMW Series 7.
Very true.
So it was cold all the time. Thus, during winter months, most kids sat at their desks with their winter coats on. While in front of the school, all the fences were spiked and 2 meters tall, which also
kinda accurate too. Like my school didn't have that for a while, and then they were like, "You're no longer allowed to go out during your breaks," and they kind of like locked us in. That's why it's kind of like prison.
also had a portion of literal rolled barbed wire as a way to prevent kids from jumping over them and escaping, because you know it wasn't a Balkan school unless you had at least 5 guys in your classroom jumping out of the first story to ditch class and wasting all of their money on Book of Ra at the Mozart bet.
That is so true. They're usually ours, like because we were never at the bottom floor, they weren't jumping out the window. They instead would go to the teacher and be like, one person would talk to the teacher and distract them, and the others would be behind at the blackboard getting ready to like escape through the door, and the teacher wouldn't know because they were behind them. So as soon as the teacher comes in, one intercepts redirects their attention towards the class, gets them to come inside at the desk, at the front desk, and then asks to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, everyone else is like running out. Oh, take care, Kirian.
Jebi ga. Voćkice mi život upropastile.
But you know what's never a waste of money? Atlas VPN, baby! In the modern day, cyber
a
attacks
different
are ever more
VPN,
common
let's
as hackers
go.
are trying ever so hard to get your data. I mean,
Why is there the fucking music in the background, man?
just look at the email I got the other day.
Your email and password, send
Menace.
me.
And that's why I recommend now more than ever to get yourself a VPN, especially since I got hacked while not using one. Luckily, Atlas is here for the rescue. Being one of the best VPNs out there, and without a doubt the best deal on the market, and only costing $1.99 a month. It prevents your login data and cookies from being stolen, keeps your search and browsing data private, and prevents malware. Alongside this, Atlas helps you avoid getting charged
I should honestly
higher
get a
for the same
VPN for
product
my
online
phone.
by companies that use geographic discrimination.
Just for
If you're
that
in the market
reason.
for online games or flights, Atlas is your best friend. Just switch to an Indian or Argentinian IP and poof! Alongside that, you can also access different TV shows and movies, once again geolocked from your home country. And with just one subscription, you have all of this on unlimited devices. So just go and click the link in the description, atlasv.pn/Europe, and get Atlas Premium
It pretty
for
much
just
works.
$4.99 a month, plus 3 months completely free. Since Atlas first sponsored my channel, their
I said
prices
I
have
should,
gone
I
up 2
didn't- I
times
didn't say I
already.
would.
So better go and get yourself
Or
a
that I will.
subscription now before they rise again. And don't worry if you're not satisfied with the VPN, which again I highly doubt.
Put a
we
condom
have
on your
30-day
internet.
money back
Let's
guarantee.
go.
So go check it out. Try it for yourself, protect yourself, and support the channel. atlasv.pn/Europe. However, that was all fine and friendly until you saw the fucking toilets.
You mean the smoking chambers? Okay, mine were never that bad.
Mi vagyunk az arabok és terroristák vagyunk. Élet a mi fegyverünk és izom a mi
Okay,
agyunk.
fair.
Other than the fact
Fair,
that you
sometimes they
basically
were.
had to shit squatting down through a hole, which was
I actually had one of those whole ones. Well, not in my school, but I went to a competition in another region. Like it was a national competition, and I kid you not, this was our toilet during that.
which was maybe cleaned once last semester. You would also have to shit in a room where you basically couldn't see 15 centimeters in front of you.
See, this is what I mean. The smoking chambers, literally. They locked the school so people wouldn't go out to smoke, and then we had the closeted smokers, so they would literally smoke in the bathroom.
From the smoke made by 15-year-old nicotine addicts. Now, I'm quite aware that in the West, you also have Dylans and Kyles smoking up the bathroom by inhaling a cocktail of questionable chemicals conjured in
Jesus
China to
Christ.
taste like strawberries and mint. But no. This is the Balkans.
Go to sleep, Albania. Go and go to sleep.
We smoked the stuff grown, sun-dried, and roasted in the glorious lands of Kentucky, which is bound to make you give up running on the treadmill after 2 minutes and shorten your life by 10 years minimum. So going into the bathroom felt like going to a country club back in the 60s, as you could taste the cancer forming in your lungs from all the smoke. And this wasn't just the case in high school. You'd also have kids
God, this is too accurate. I never could go to the girls' bathroom because for some reason the boys' bathroom was a disaster that was just not functional anymore. The girls' bathroom was where everyone gathered to smoke because it was the one that's closest to the class. Like the girls' bathroom was always close to the classrooms. The boys' one was very far. Oh, I always went to the teachers. Like if I needed to go to the bathroom, if I really needed to go to the bathroom, right? I would go to the teachers because they had toilet paper. It was clean. I had the privilege of being allowed access because the Romanian teacher favored me. Oh,
Kids start smoking in 7th grade, and instead of sharing a pack of gum during recess, they'd all be sharing a box of cigarettes.
Yep.
You'd also had some
True.
opening up startups in the trade of illicit substances. So, on special occasions, you'd also have the police coming in and taking away Ivan for being a very naughty boy. But of
being a naughty boy. Okay, we never had that level of delinquents. Teacher's pet, yeah. Or rather, like, I wouldn't say pet, I would say more like very nerdy. I was very good at the subjects that interested me and would go to competitions and teachers like that.
Of course, some kids also played by the books and would sell home brewed brandy to teachers. On a more wholesome note, if you
Okay. For me, we had it a bit different. We wouldn't have moonshine. Me too. I see Megatosi. We wouldn't have moonshine. Okay, we would play ping pong with our teacher. We would play sports with our teachers in and skip other classes. Thanks,
you
Nick.
lived in a more multicultural area, like I did, during winter you'd have the kids split up into groups of whoever and Hungarians, and then have snowball fights. So, you know, that was always pretty fun. And
honestly, that is always fun. I agree with the video. With the one exception that there was a tradition to pick up any girl that you wanted, right? Pick her up and go shove snow down her panties. that was the tradition. Needless to say, someone that liked me tried to do that, and I clawed them. I was feral. But I did not want to get snow in my panties, and I didn't want to go out. So yeah, that's what they got. Don't worry, chat. If you're in the Balkans, the girls fight back. Just gotta put that out there. We will bite and claw the fuck out of you, and we're not afraid to beat you.
and helpful in the preparation for that Third Yugoslav War. None of that compared to what was going on inside the buildings on a daily occasion.
If she doesn't drop blood, is it true love? Oh my god.
The classrooms before the teachers would
Okay, we were never that insane with our desks, but yeah, we did have moments when we repositioned desks and did weird shit. Oh.
come, and after they would leave were just utter chaos and a free-for-all. A popular way to kill time waiting for the lesson to start was using chairs as darts and the wall as a dartboard.
Sometimes accurate.
The motto was, if it can be broken into pieces, it will be. So you'd have kids finding as many creative ways to break the already barely standing equipment, like stacking the chairs together on a desk and then sitting on the throne of heights.
Oh my god!
Role-playing as if you're in the bus going into a car crash.
Seriously?
We were never one by one into the classroom while
we were never that coordinated, man. That's very coordinated.
Opening and slamming the door after yourself.
Okay, that one's true. Because people were like, this was funny to do to the teacher.
And of course, hiding in the class closet and breaking the door. You also had occasionally that one kid
In our case, they would just lock people in the lockers. And by lock, I mean just they would hide in, right? Like not bully someone in, but like they would hide them in the lockers because you couldn't open it from like you couldn't close it properly from the inside. So you had someone have to like close the door on you. And then the teacher would be like leaving, and suddenly you'd hear from the lockers all sorts of like bang, bang, bang. And all sorts of noise, and the teacher would be like, what the? Oh. And then everyone would come out after the teacher's gone and go back to class.
Giving birth to a backpack as the others around him help him deliver. And as the schools had life, they also had death.
Oh my god! I like how everyone's just happy about it. And the teacher's just there going like, what is happening?
You could also spot a kid practicing for his life after high school to be a layman as the teacher was going over the day's lesson. And just as the police would sometimes raid the school, so would the students as well.
Oh my god! Okay, we never had raids of any sorts.
Some guys even put snow in the electric sockets and made the whole school go into a blackout.
That happened several times. Not necessarily with snow, but yeah, that happened. I did tell you the story of when I got the entire school evacuated.
It was a show. Of course, I'm guessing many of you are wondering by now, what about the teachers? Didn't they have anything to say about this? Well, to put it lightly, they didn't give a 90% of them were working for 500 euros a month, or whatever the country they were.
Well, they would give a fuck if they were actually paid to give a fuck. Very good point there. Can we get a TLDR version of the story? Short version is I brought a prank spray that's a can of farts. Like it's a spray that smells like farts that you can just prank people with. And my friend said, let me borrow it. And I said, okay, you can use it once and give it back. So his solution to that was to loophole me. And he held it down to use it once until it was empty. So the entire class smelled like farts to the point where the teacher came in and thought it was a gas leak and evacuated the entire school. Yeah, that happened. They never knew it was us, by the way.
In could get away with paying him that was slightly above minimum wage. You'd have 63-year-old teachers coming to work on a bike and sandals wearing a babe cap or with a bottle of rakia that they bought from the previously mentioned student. Often than not, they just wouldn't do anything because they're not being paid enough for this
Honestly, for the most part, they would just like give you a bad grade or put you in front of the class and ask you questions, and then you would ace the questions and they'd be like, what the hell do I do now? Like, I wanted to punish them and prove that they don't know what my class is about, but they do. That was always the case. Every time they would try and do something about a problematic person in the class, the person would just answer every question perfectly and flawlessly and get a 10. And the teacher would be very confused. They were definitely not paid enough for this shit. But also, they were very prone to being bribed. Very, very prone to being bribed. Because, well, not paid enough.
But on the off occasion that they cared about their job even slightly, you'd either have them A, publicly breaking out in tears. Now, usually they were rookies that just finished teaching school.
We actually never had a teacher break down in tears. We had students break down in tears. Someone did that in your school as well in the ventilation shaft. Damn. That's insane. I'm glad I'm not the only one. But honestly, like, teachers weren't really bullied very hard here. Like, people respected teachers, at least in my schools. I don't know about everywhere else, obviously. But if a teacher would pick on you, usually what happened was the person, like the student, would start crying, and then the teacher would feel bad and forgive everything. That's usually how it went. They were very soft for tears, at least on the girl side.
Or B, they'd beat up a student.
That did happen.
Now, these were usually older ones that were in this for far too long. And of course, after 5 months of this, they reached a breaking point. In conclusion,
You usually would have the ruler or verbal abuse, or simply, asking you questions, as I said. Not so much actual beatings. Though there were people that did have meltdowns, yeah. There were teachers that did have meltdowns. Unfortunately.
mismo govna. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like and subscribe button, and
a
go
very
over to my
fun
site
video.
and buy yourself a shirt at theironicsshop.com. Or join the postcard club, where I send you postcards from the places I visited. My name is Janos, and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
It didn't matter if they were beaten, treated, or anything. The kids didn't care, and the parents didn't care either. Yeah, like, it's an entire different culture in the Balkans. Like, you don't give shit if you can't take shit, basically. And it's one of those where, like, well, if by any chance a teacher would, like, smack you, you'd just learn your lesson and behave. You wouldn't go crying, and you wouldn't have the teacher get cancelled. But those were different times. Those were different times, and again, it's the Balkans. Good luck with that one.